Just for a second, I just would like you to check out my microphone set. It's actually new by Strike King with these new things. It's incredible, incredible new microphone. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time checking us out, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button or the like button. But today, we're going to be talking about a story of some fishing experiences that I had recently. I got to go out fishing a couple weeks ago and was having a really good time. Was catching some fish, nothing big, mostly dinks. But the water clarity was insane. So we could see things, we could see bass, we could see carp, we could see bluegill from 12 feet down. And I was seeing a weed line right about 20 to 15 feet outside of shore. And I was casting along that weed line and trying to catch a fish that was ready to ambush prey. There was a lot of schooling bass that were patrolling the weed line. And I would cast along that weed line to see what I could catch. And I was seeing these schools of bass swim right by my kayak, and I would cast right next to them as they were going by my kayak, within 10 feet of my kayak. And they were pretty spooked, needless to say, and they never bit on it when it was right next to the kayak. Now, at this point in time, I was fishing a weightless finesse, straight-tailed worm, and or a trick worm, as some people call it. And I casted it out, and when I didn't cast it out very far and I could see the bait sink, I never caught anything. But when I would cast it out far enough to where I wasn't able to see the lure getting bitten, I caught tons of fish. So there's two things I learned in the process of doing this. I learned, for as far as fishing goes, I learned that there's a lot of value in a far cast. When those fish are not spooked, sometimes seeing is not always the most important thing. When you have this intuition about you and you know that there's this weed line here and it's going to continue on, cast in that area. Trust it. Allow that bait to just do its thing. That trick worm is going to catch fish. Cast it in the right places and you can trust that it's going to catch fish. You don't have to see the fish catch it. But I had this addiction to just wanting to see the fish bite it. So I kept casting at these fish that were close to the boat. But the second thing I learned was a little bit deeper. It had a little bit more to do with faith. And those of you who don't know, faith is the substance of things we hope for. Every time I tried to have control over what that bait was going to do, by working it too hard, I didn't catch anything. That's the thing about faith. Sometimes in our lives, we need to make far casts. Sometimes in our life, we need to make leaps of faith in moments where we cannot control the outcome. And that's the way with Jesus. We can't see him. We cannot see God, but we can see the effects of all that he's done. Maybe there's something in your life that you need to cast that far line. You need to put your faith in Jesus. To say, Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I trust that you're going to do the work. I'm going to be faithful by doing the work that I need to do, and I'm going to give the rest to you. Whether you've been fighting that sin, that you started that business, whether you are taking that leap of faith to minister to that person that you care about, or whatever it is, make that cast. Because you may find that something beautiful will happen. When you have less control, you may find that a beautiful thing happens. That's the power of faith. There's a passage in Romans chapter 7, I believe, where Paul is talking about how he is weak. And now in his weakness, God is made strong. And that's very true in our life, is when we allow God to be strong in our weakness and we don't try to control everything, he will do a mighty work, a very, very mighty work. You know, guys, I really love to fish. And I really believe that God speaks through those things in nature. In his creation, he shows us truth through how he creates the world. And in this case, I found that faith really does play a factor in fishing. And even as faith changed my life, when I made that far cast to say, Jesus, I put my faith in you, it transformed me from the inside out. And it wasn't an immediate thing, but I have found that he has done immeasurably more than I could ever ask or imagine. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. I hope this was blessing to you. And if you're interested in having more content like this or just more fishing content, encourage you to hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you as a part of the family.